Kahsenniyo Wilson, down in Six Nations territory. My name is Kahsenniyo. I am a Mohawk Wolf from the Six Nations territory. I first of all want to say Nyao to the organizers for giving me the opportunity to speak here. I'm extremely honored to be on this panel. One of the main things that I do is I'm a youth worker. I am co-founder of Young Angwahoa United, and I guess my presentation is going to be slightly different than everyone else's in the fact that what I hope to do today is to put a face and reality to the effects of residential schools, because I stand before you today a survivor of residential schools. There were numerous people within my family who unfortunately attended residential schools. Out of 47 relatives on my maternal side, I am one of 4 people who are not full-blown addicts. My father had a $2,000 a day cocaine addiction. My stepfather suffered severely from gambling. I remember being, 12 years old and having to sleep with my purse under my pillow out of fear that he was going to steal money from me so that he could go to the casino. I just recently cleaned out my cousin's apartment and found crack pipes hidden everywhere, filters for crack pipes hidden everywhere, needles. And the direct result of that, or the reason why my family is in the situation that they're in, is because of residential schools. Because the mandate of residential schools was to kill the Indian and the child, but what they underestimated is that they were trying to kill something that was immortal. They were trying to kill the spirit within us, and that will never, ever, ever go away. It doesn't matter how much they beat us, how much they abused us, how much they told us that we were worth nothing. The fact of the matter was that we had that spirit inside of us that told us different. And that spirit inside of us that connects us to the Creator is also the reason why we're suffering from a lot of these social issues that we're facing today, because there's a void within us that we're not quite sure what it is. We don't know how to deal with it. So we deal with it through these different avenues of drugs and alcohol. And part of the work that I do with Young Angwahoa United is that we as young people came together and we organized, and we said that we understand our history, but we also accept responsibility for our situation that we're in today. That we accept responsibility, that we have the power and the ability to stop those cycles of violence, to stop those cycles of abuse. So that's what we try and do within our organization, is to create those opportunities for young people to begin making the changes that need to be made. I guess my presentation is also a little bit different in the fact that I'm going to do a spoken word piece for you guys. This piece is kind of just a general overview of, from my perception anyways, the issues that my community is facing. So I don't want to block you out, so I'll stand over here. This piece is called My People's Truth. My people are hurting and crying, and yet Canada is still lying, telling the world that they have changed. And this thought is so very, very deranged. and they're lying straight to your face. But what I'm about to share with you, please don't let Harper's fake apology replace. For my people are dying too young because of all that they have done. Unsafe drinking water, father abusing daughter, son beating mom, cousin suffering with cancer, and she will never get to see her daughter become that beautiful dancer. And my people are unable to love. Sometimes all I need is a hug, begging my mama to love me, hold me, help mold me, but she can't see that she doesn't even have the capacity to love me or hold me or help mold me, because languages and traditions are still disappearing, because so many elders are still fearing their identity, and despite this fear, their knowledge is still plenty, but some elders refuse to teach me about a history. So to this day, there are too many mysteries. What does it mean to be me? This information they won't share, for they still live in fear and shame of their very existence, and they will always resist it. For when they were little, they were told that they were dirty, savage, worthless, and unnecessary. And hell yes, this gets to me, as every day I wake and I see my people hurting and crying, yet Canada is still lying. Still don't believe me? Well, let me spit some statistics and make this just a little bit more realistic. 90% of prostitutes in Manitoba are young, Aboriginal women. No way to make money, so they give in, forced onto the streets to ensure their families can eat. If only they would have had someone in their life that would have said, girl, use your head, you're smart, continue with your passion for art. Your possibilities are endless, and you don't have to get in this life of self-destruction. Pregnant mothers drinking on the daily, and every day I'm thankful that this wasn't my sister Haley. Fetal alcohol syndrome 25 times higher than the world average. These women know that they will harm their baby, but they figure maybe, just maybe, if they drink, the pain of their existence will go away, but it doesn't, so the next day they wake and put that bottle to their lips. No man around to give them a sweet kiss, and the reason that they do this is because they are hurting and crying, yet Canada is still lying, pretending things are great, yet over 52% of Native people living below the poverty rate. Too many kids' mamas, just give them a shake, tell them to wake, send them off to school late with no food on their plate, send them off to school while all too often the only lesson learned is you gotta be tough if you an Indian. You must be stupid if you an Indian. You worthless if you an Indian. You a whining tax sucker if you're an Indian. And at the end of the day, these kids come home feeling like a goddamn no good Indian. So it's no wonder that they have a higher chance of committing suicide than they do to graduate. To wake up every morning and have to take that ride. Have to take that ride into a world that they hate, that isn't willing to relate to the struggles that they face. So it's no surprise that they're losing the race to first place, because the system is designed so that they can't relate. They can't connect to the material that they're learning, because their spirit is yearning to be fed the words that my ancestors said. So now they drop out of school with no hope for tomorrow and forced to live their life in sorrow. No education leads to a 30% unemployment rate, so their only fate is a life of crime. These kids are 14 times more likely to be incarcerated, and these facts are not often related. So hopefully now you have some insight and you see that every day my people fight. We fight to survive. So how can we thrive if we can barely survive? If we're still trying to deal with the tears of our people's past trauma, as these tears were passed down from mama to mama to mama. So I'm here to tell you that yes, my people are hurting and crying, and yes, Canada is still lying, telling the world that they have changed, and hell yes, this thought is so very, very deranged. Thank you.